Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick. Viewers with good memories may remember that about 3 months ago, Classic Comics, the place where we film and shoot the show every week, had a run-in with an old lady's car.
Yeah, it hit right there.
That's right. Well, it's almost back to normal.
And no, the damage wasn't that bad. It just took the landlord that long to get it fixed.
Anyway, we're going to be shooting in what will soon be filled with comic and statue goodness. Kevin figured it might be interesting to set up a little differently this week, and we didn't have to move anything.
But that won't affect the show. Just like every week, Variant Edition Tuesdays will bring you the latest headlines in the world of comics and a sneak peek at what comics you shouldn't miss on Wednesday.
That's right. So, here's your 5 minutes of comic knowledge that will prepare you to step into your comic shop this week.
Last week we saw the comeback of Thor and Funeral for Cap. What's in store this week? Well, comics are back to Wednesday, and there's plenty that we are interested in checking out. New Avengers number 32 follows up on last month's huge revelation. Who's a Skrull? Who can the Avengers trust? And who's Wolverine going to kill? It's not just Skrulls this week, though. Also expect to find Omega Flight number 4, Nova number 4, Punisher War Drummer number 9, and the universe-spanning Annihilation Conquest Wraith number 1. Oh, and Laurel K. Hamilton fans may want to be sure to head out to the shops this week. She's actually writing a new miniseries, Anita Blake, The First Death. And the first of the 2 issues hits this week. DC's also got some big releases this week. The Great Superman Confidential continues with number 5, Justice Society of America number 7 continues with a new member, and we see the origins of Oliver Queen in Green Arrow Year 1 number 1. Superman number 664, Batman Confidential number 7, and Shadow Pack number 15 also hit this week. But it's not just Men in Tights this week. We've also got DMZ number 21, Fables number 63, Gen 13 number 10, 30 Days of Night, Eben and Stella number 3, the Coheed and Cambria related Armory Wars number 2, Madman Atomic Comics number 3, and Frank Miller and Dave Gibbons finish up a story begun quite some time ago in Give Me Liberty, and the one-shot special, Martha Washington Dies. All you Stephen Colbert fans can finally sigh a breath of relief. Stephen Colbert's Tech Jansen number 1 finally hits stores this week. Looking for something a little more plasticky? The cool Batman Deluxe vinyl from Kotobukiya is available again starting this week, and Bowen fans will want to search out the finely detailed Khazar and Zabu mini-bust. Our pick of the week? We're anxiously awaiting the first chapter of the Sinestro Corps in this week's Green Lantern number 21.
Here are your headlines for the week of July 10th, 2007. So last week, we started off with the Transformers, and we'd be stupid if we didn't check out to see how our Cybertronian buddies were doing. According to most sources, I'd say pretty damn good. Transformers had one of the biggest opening weeks ever, with $152.5 million. Considering that the budget was estimated to be $150 million, it was a no-brainer that the sequel was announced last week. Still no date, but Michael Bay is attached to direct. But back to comics. Well, this next bit is comic-related, but not in the paper and ink kind of way. Many are saying that the future of comics may very well be digital. There are already a few online stores selling digital comics, and online-only comic strips are abundant on the web. We've seen Top Cow, Devil's Due, and Slave Labor jump into the online pool, but so far we haven't seen much from the big two. Well, this week DC Comics announced a new comic imprint, Zuda Comics, and this time it's an online imprint. It doesn't seem like they plan on porting over Superman or Batman to the web, but something different. The site is scheduled to do a launch in October and will feature multiple ongoing webcomics. After the launch, visitors will be able to vote on new webcomics and decide which ones will make the cut to ongoing series. Sounds interesting. DC is positioning this as a way to introduce some new ideas and possibly jump into the future of comics. And of course, the comics blogosphere has jumped into the press release arguing over the details of rights and ownership, which on the surface may seem to be on par with DC's other imprints like Vertigo. We'll be following the story as it develops. And finally, regular viewers already know that Elephant Man is one of the best comics being published today. Active Images has announced a new release date for their 224-page hardcover that will collect the first 7 issues of the groundbreaking Image comic series. The $24.99 Elephant Man Wounded Animals will go on sale in August. So if you haven't picked it up yet, now you've got no excuse.
Alright, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday this week. Don't forget to check out episodes 58 and 59.
Yeah, 2 episodes released a day apart, and they're full of comic reviews.
Oh, and don't worry about Wizard World, that Wizard World episode that we promised.
Yeah.
Kevin assures us that it's on schedule for later this week.
If you haven't seen those episodes yet, we also mentioned that we are part of the Comics Podcast Network. It's a group of about 28 different podcasts about, you guessed it, comics.
See, it's pretty cool if you still have some time after you watch Variant Edition, or if you want something you can listen to while you're pretending to work, you can check it out at comicspodcast.com.
And speaking of that, we're starting a new little feature. At the end of every Variant Edition Tuesday, we'll be running a promo from a different member of the network.
Consider it to be like a public service announcement, but one that you'll actually want to listen to.
Yeah, nice. This week, it's quiet. Panelologists at work. And don't let the accents fool you. These guys know their stuff.
As always, there are quite a few ways to watch us: iTunes, Vio, YouTube, and Google Video. And don't forget our new high-res feed from Blip TV, or you can head over to VariantEdition.com and watch us on our page.
Well, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday. We'll see you next time.
The Quiet Panelologists at Work podcast. The true antidote to the average comic book podcast.
So, John, why should people listen to our podcast?
Well, Matt, for starters, it's only 45 minutes long.
That's true, so it's not actually that much of a burden on your free time.
No, and it's only bi-weekly.
Yeah, so you don't have to make a massive commitment to it.
We talk about comics.
That's right, and the joys of being a comic book collector.
Yeah, and we like to think we're pretty funny.
I like to think I'm quite funny.
I think you are funny in the head.
The Quiet Panelologists at Work podcast at panelologist.com.